Hello everybody. I'd like to show you a lens that I don't think a lot of people know about. What if I told you that Nikon produced a 13mm ultra wide angle that was suitable for full frame sensors? What if I told you this lens had vibration reduction as well? Well, I have it right here. It's actually the DX 10 to 20mm. It's the 4.5 to 5.6 G. This lens accepts filters, and it actually covers the full frame sensor at 13 and 14 millimeters, which effectively gives you a small, lightweight prime lens that's capable of covering the full frame sensor at 13 millimeters. Now, I know what you're thinking. The image quality's got to suffer, and yes, it's true, the corners aren't perfect, but for what you're going to use this for, it doesn't really matter. Let me show you a couple of sample images. I'm going to put those up on the screen real quick so you can take a look at what I'm doing with it. So for something you can throw in the bag, this thing's only like they go for like 150 bucks used. I mean, it's really hard to argue with something at this price, this weight, this size that allows you a wider perspective than anything else.
Come on!
See what I mean? Now, I'd like to show you a quick comparison in terms of size between two lenses. This is my 50mm 1.8 G, and this is the 10 to 20. And if you look at these, they're nearly the same size. And what's more, if I break out my scale, I've got, on this 10 to 20, you have 227 grams, or a half a pound, versus the 51.8, which is 0.496 of a pound. I mean, there's really an insignificant difference between the weight of these two lenses, especially when you can consider that your alternative would be something like a 16 to 35, which is 1.63 pounds. This is 3 times heavier than this. So if you're not going to be doing a huge amount of ultra wide stuff, especially if you're an event photographer like me, where the great majority of the stuff you're going to be doing with it is going to be single frames that you're going to use to show an event and a subject in place. And the edges of that don't really matter. Let's be honest. As long as there's information in those edges, all anybody's looking at is your central focus point. So I think this is a fantastic option to lighten your bag and to allow you to get images that you otherwise wouldn't be able to get. I use this regularly. Anytime I go to an event, anytime I go to a rally race, I mean, I wouldn't expect to use this for portraits. I wouldn't use it for landscapes for sure. But this allows me the option to get that perspective that I would otherwise have to buy the 14 to 24, or I mean, even the 14 to 24 doesn't make it to 13 millimeters. There's shots that this can get that the 14 to 24 couldn't get. It doesn't take filters. So I mean, here you can throw a filter on here. With a step-up ring, this is natively 72 millimeter. You can step this up to a 77, and you could put a long exposure ND filter on there, something like a 6-stop or a 10-stop, and you'd be able to get long exposures at 13 millimeters. That's something that you really can't do with any other alternative lens to get you to that focal length. This is hugely versatile. It's a really nice lens, and I enjoy using it. It's just, I think you need to look at it as if it was a fisheye lens. It's a one-trick pony. You're going to use it for a couple of shots, and you're going to put it back in the bag, and that's fine. If something happens to this, if it's lost or broken or stolen, it's not going to be as detrimental as if it was any of the other options that allow you to get that wide. And if you're going to be doing events like me, my normal kit for events is a 28 1.4 and a 105 1.4, and sometimes I want a wider perspective like what this offers. My other alternative would be to take this, which is much bigger, much heavier, and it doesn't go as wide. And I'm only going to use this for the same shot I would use this for. So what would I rather carry? What would you rather carry? it's this any time. And then you can sell this. You could get rid of the 16 to 35 if that's what you're using it for. Because to be honest, I'm not really satisfied with it for landscapes anyway. So it's not doing the job I got it for. So your next lens, right here, the 10 to 20 Nikon. So your next lens, right? So your next lens right here, the 10 to 20 Nikon. Thank you.